Now let's dive deep into the big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Raji Narayan Singh, and let's queer up trans rights. Trans military ban under fire in D.C. court. In Washington, D.C., the Trump administration faced sharp judicial scrutiny Tuesday over its latest attempt to reinstate a ban on transgender military service. In Talbott versus United States, the Justice Department defended a 2025 policy barring trans people from serving unless they deny their identity or forgo medical transition. But the three-judge panel of the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals wasn't buying it. Judge Cornelia Pillard brought out the contradictions, saying, quote, someone who has never been diagnosed with gender dysphoria but who has transitioned is explicitly banned. It's clearly banning all transgender persons, end quote. DOJ attorney Jason Manion insisted the ban is about deployability and medical fitness, not identity, on which Pillard shot back. Quote, your argument is that you can serve as a transgender person as long as you don't serve as a transgender person? Is that right? End quote. Even Judge Gregory Cassis, appointed by Trump, pushed back, asking, quote, what sense does it make it harder to stay in than to get in? Oh my God. Manion, a former aide to Senator Ted Cruz, repeatedly admitted he didn't know how the policy would be applied, including the veterans or reservists, and couldn't explain how the military would even identify trans service members. The plaintiff's attorney, Shannon Mentor of the National Center for Lesbian Rights, said, quote, last time around, they tried to claim there are transgender people who are fine serving in their birth sex, but that's not what's being transgender means. It's gaslighting. It's a pretense. It's a doge. The hearing followed a March district court session where Judge Anna Reyes, herself LGBTQ, accused the DOJ of quote unquote cherry picking and misquoting research, and ordered their attorneys to actually read the studies they were citing. The Trump administration has already lost a similar case in Washington state just last week. The Ninth Circuit Court upheld protections for trans service members, finding no evidence that inclusive service harms the military. While the ban is under scrutiny, the lives and futures of trans troops and the integrity of our military hang in the balance. You know what I'm so happy about? That these courts are stepping up and like really blocking a lot of this bullshit. I really am, and that's the hope I'm holding on to. Like I'm hoping that our system, here in America will be strong enough to combat this, King Trump?
I don't know.
I mean, the dictatorship that he wants this country to be.
Yeah, you have more hope than I do, Miss
Yeah,
Rodriguez. I mean, you've always had more hope than I do. You're that person, and that's why I adore you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm really interested in what Jason has to say about that, him being ex-military and actually serving under Don't Ask, Don't Tell. So explain this to me. I'm listening to Raji read this story. You have to say there's something mentally wrong with you to continue to serve this country that doesn't see you as a person that deserves equal rights. Is that what Raji was saying, basically?
100%. So it's crazy because serving under Don't Ask, Don't Tell, when it was the first conversations were about its repeal, we had to take Homosexuality Act training. What that meant is, the Pillard's quote, how are you going to serve being trans? You can serve being transgender, but you can't serve being transgender. You can be gay in the military. We just can't catch you with a in a
phallic thing
in a phallic
situation.
or a situation.
Okay.
But then how are you your true and authentic self? I mean, that was kind of the trauma that I came out with after serving as Don't Tell. You weren't able to be yourself, but it's okay that you are. But it's kind of that double-edged sword. It's really crazy. They think that just because you're gay or lesbian, bi, trans in this case, that somehow you're not going to have my back. I'm not going to have your back. We're not going to complete the mission. And, we go through weeks of basic training. We go through weeks of tech school. We're a family. Like, there's a camaraderie within the military that no matter what happens, I don't care if I don't like you out of uniform. Like, while you're in uniform, we have a dedicated mission to the Constitution to protect and to serve everyone else in this country.
You have a mission, and until that mission is complete, that's it. You're one unit, and that's it.
Egos aside, personality aside, it's the mission. We are trained to do a mission. And so this whole thing about how it affects the lives and the futures of trans troops, it's true, and it's sad that we're here again. Because Don't Ask, Don't Tell was something similar in terms of banning troops. These are people who want to serve their country. These are people who want to lay down their life for the same people who are writing this bull crap. Let's respect and give them the respect and dignity and trust them to do their job.
Yeah, and to respect and dignity, that right there is at the top of this when you really think about it. Gender dysphoria, people don't necessarily have that who are trans. Yes. There's a very small number of folks who literally have that. You want that as a diagnosis on your record? No, you don't want that. That's going to open up a whole other floodgates of issues.
Yeah, the problem is the way back in the day, and I still think they try to do it, the way that you could transition is you had to be diagnosed gender dysphoric.
Okay, that was what it was.
So so that's the thing. And to me, anyone that makes it through boot camp is dedicated and is going to be a team with the rest of the comrades, I guess, for lack of a better word. I said I wouldn't last one day in boot camp, and then I would have had to get up like at 3 a.m. to beautify, so I'd be ready for the
thinking about. Right?
No, but really, it's to me, if you get through that, and I think it's about integrity and a person's content of character. It doesn't matter if they're gay or straight.
You're a soldier. Trans. It doesn't matter your gender. It really, literally doesn't matter what's between your legs.
Correct.
Yeah.
Bonnie?
Child, I don't care what you do or who you do, as long as you do it correctly. This has been an ongoing issue for longer than I've been alive, which ain't that long. But I understand. I have a general understanding of the plights that they go through being an Army brat myself. I almost said audition. I'm so gay. I almost joined the Navy. It was the Navy. I took the ASVAB test. I did really well. And the next step was basic training. And the night before I had to get on the bus, I was like, I'm just going to block the number of the recruiter because this is not for me. So if you are better than me, if you decide to join the military, if you decide to lay your life on the line to fight for our rights, I don't give a good goddamn what you are, who you are, what you do, who you do.
Yeah.
As long as you are qualified for the job, you should be able to get the job. Yeah. Why is any of this a point of conversation? Why does any of this matter? It don't.
And then we had done a story a couple of weeks back when they had first said about transgender in the military not being accepted anymore, that somebody had, I think it was probably Ted Cruz, that said, we don't even know how many transgender folks are. We don't even know where they're at. Okay. We haven't counted them, but you're throwing this at us. You don't even know how you're going to implement this, but you're scaring the bejesus out of all these soldiers who are willing to die for this country.
Yeah. Give them one more thing to worry about. They're already worried about being a good soldier, bullets flying at them, doing their job correctly, not getting yelled at every day.
Yeah.
Yelled at every day. Now it's just another stress on top of that. Something else for them to worry about.
Yeah. And listen, if an LGBTQ person decides to put their life on the line for this country right now, oh my God, more power to them. Yeah. Because I've lost faith in it,
Well, on a good note, Navy, this week is Fleet Week. So,
Seaman.
I got to get ready. Yeah, that could mean something different to all four of us. Okay. Yes. But thank you for the Navy, 250 years. Congratulations on Fleet Week here in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, thank you for that good news. Boy, I like how we ended that story. That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Yeah.